Okay, now this is my first quick and dirty video on how to change the screen on a digital camera. This is my other digital camera, which, as you can see, has some quite severe damage to the screen. I don't know whether you can see this, but there's also some damage to the right hand side that, oddly enough, isn't showing up now. That's very strange. Anyway, of course, the first trick, if you're going to do any work on a digital camera, is take out the memory card and the battery. I don't know how well this video will come out because I have the camera actually clipped to me in order to have both hands free. Now here is the new screen assembly that I ordered on eBay. I ordered this from a chap in Hong Kong. Quite reasonably priced, and to be honest, quite a lot of the Hong Kong dealers are very good for electronics. It can be a little bit tricky if your item doesn't turn up, or if it turns up damaged, but it hasn't. Now this has a protective cover over the screen, which I will not remove yet. In fact, I will put it back in its safety bag for now. Now these kits, which quite often are the same for mobile phones, usually do come with tools, which is quite a handy little thing. This is known as a spudger. It's for prying the plastic case apart without damaging it. It's quite a hard plastic, but with smooth edges, and you get a small Phillips or cross-point screwdriver. Now, with these cameras, it can be tricky to know which screws to take out. So I usually start with the ones on the side that I'm working, but the display is on. Now I put the screws, as I take them out, in the box. Sorry, I've just realised this is not showing up very well. Let me zoom. There we go. I tried to zoom out a little. It was already zoomed out as far as it would go. There we go. That screw does not want to come out. I have done this before with this particular camera. This is a Samsung L830. Note there are no screws inside the battery cover. It's always something to look out for. It's an L830. They are quite vulnerable, the screens. Now, as you see, I did that actually with my thumbnail, which is a bit of a naughty, but I'm sure nobody's going to slap me for it. The reason this is an oldish camera, but the reason I'm spending time and money on it is because, despite being old, it is quite a nice camera. It's quite robust, apart from the issue with the screen. There is one screw there that I missed, which is why it was being a bit of an arse. As you can see, that has now removed that screw, and it should come apart, you see. Now, changing the screen is actually dead simple with these, because the screen just slots into a carrier there. Now the carrier itself, as you can see, pivots. It's held with one tiny screw here. You remove that screw. Now I'm leaving that screw in the carrier because to me that's easier. Now these connectors, I'm going to try to get this. I don't know whether I can zoom. No, apparently I cannot zoom in video mode on this camera. But these connectors here, I'm going to have a quick look at it myself rather than showing it to the camera. Yes, they're fairly simple. The connection just lifts up and pulls out. I'll put the connector back in so I can show you how that comes apart. What you do, you take the spudger tool. I used my thumbnail again, it's a habit I've got into. Under the black edge there, it's not quite in focus unfortunately, but then you flip up the back edge, it's hinged. When it's unplugged, or when it's released, it's unpluggable, you see? Now you can see the crack in the screen there, and in fact you can see that the screen bends there slightly, which a decent screen should not do. So that screen is gone, that's useless. Now what we have is the new screen. In exactly the same way, the new screen, you put the connector in to the hole or into the slot, and then you fold down the little pin or the little clip. Then you run along it with the edge of the spudger just to make sure that it is connected. And then you realise you have been a complete arse and done it upside down. On camera even. Excellent. It even had little lines to tell me which way up it goes. Oh well, no harm done. You realise that fairly quickly if you make that mistake. Now, just adjusting this again. Put the little shield back in. It's kind of a shield and carrier for the display. Then you fold the display over onto it. Grab the plastic film tab and remove the film before you put it back on the camera. Now the reason these cameras are so fragile is because that glass, or the acrylic sheet that in lieu of glass, is incredibly thin. Now, a little tip that I have picked up, I actually have plastic polish and will use it, but you can use just a dry cotton ball or cotton pleat of the type you use to remove makeup. Simply wipe it. This I'm using Greygate plastic polish, which is considered to be one of the best plastic polishes you can get. It's a very, very mild abrasive. You simply rub it on until it stops. When you start, you feel a dragging because of the abrasive. When the dragging from the abrasive stops, you then switch to a clean side of the cotton ball. This not only removes fine scratches, the main reason is it's removing finger marks from the inside of the glass or inside of the screen. You can actually see the reflection of the camera there, which means that it's quite good. That's fairly clean. Now with these, all cameras and phones will be slightly different, but you usually just clip them. You just squeeze them gently until you get a light click, like that, and that's fine, that's done. Now what you do is you open up. Now what I forgot to say, I don't have to worry about this because I know which screws are which, but make a note of where the screws come from because they are in different lengths. Now I've just dropped one on the floor, which is an arse because I'm not going to bend down on camera to get it. You should really work on a clear floor, preferably a dark short pile carpet. It's worthwhile if you have the room and you're doing a workbench for this kind of small fiddly work. That's where the small screw went. Haha. Yes, if you're doing this regularly, this small type of fiddly work, it's worth making an area in the garage or shed or wherever you're working with this covering, with a dark floor covering that's got a short pile. You don't want to use a deep pile carpet because the screws will disappear in it and drive you insane looking for them. And you don't want to use a vinyl floor or linoleum, because they will roll, the screws and anything you drop will roll for miles. Now, it's very difficult. I've probably screwed this video up by virtue of this. It's very difficult to get it correct when you're looking through the camera lens. There we go, nice leg shot there. But I found the screw that had dropped on the floor. I don't have the dark carpet that I suggested, but it is a short pile carpet that things cannot disappear into. Now, open the battery compartment. This is the moment of truth. This is all recorded as one video. I have not edited this at all. I don't, to be honest, have the inclination to edit it, so if this works, which indeed it does, don't know whether you can see that very well. There's the keyboard. No cracks, no marks, and I'm quite pleased with that. That camera is now in perfect working order again. Thank you very much.